Welcome to the Wrestling Podcast, Fantasy Booking.
Alright, the year, ladies and gentlemen, is 2018. Now that's in the fantasy, not real life. In real life, it just happens to be 2018. That's a coincidence. I'm not talking about real life.
It's okay. Alright. Yep. Carry on.
It's so far it checks out.
Yeah, it fits. Right. He's onto something, fellas.
It's July. Money in the Bank. Finn Balor is the champion. This is SmackDown. He was moved to SmackDown for reasons. And he's the champ. So we go into the pay-per-view. There's a Money in the Bank ladder match. AJ Styles wins it against some, 5 other generic people. Finn Balor wins the main event by beating some generic heel like Jinder Mahal or whoever. After Finn wins, AJ's music hits and the crowd is like, whoa, what the hell? AJ comes out to the ramp with a microphone and he congratulates Finn on his victory and he says, I am going to cash in my Money in the Bank. And everyone's like, what? And Michael Cole says nothing because he doesn't know how to commentate. And then
Vintage AJ.
Yeah. Then AJ says, at SummerSlam. And the crowd is like, whoa! And Michael Cole is like, oh my god, WWE SummerSlam, $9.99 on the network, you can sign up now. So we come out of the pay-per-view, the internet is like, whoa, AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. Most people are like, oh, they're surely going to have Finn lose to Jinder, so it'll be AJ and Jinder. There's no way they'll give us AJ and Finn because they hate us and Vince is old and senile. But the build-up to the feud is fairly kind of lukewarm from WWE's, from the creative standpoint. They're both likable faces and they're both over. And they both talk about respect and their history together and how much they want to test each other and how well matched they are and stuff like that. So
And they're people, not characters as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's one of the SmackDowns before Extreme Rules, which is the intervening pay-per-view between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. So we're going into Extreme Rules. AJ comes out to the ring and he cuts a promo saying that he's going to prevail in the match because he and Finn are really well matched. They know each other very well. They have very similar in-ring psychology. But AJ has one thing that Finn does not, and that is that he has God on his side, and that God has always been there for AJ anytime he's needed him. Then Bray Wyatt comes out and says, the only thing that's ever been there for you is the emptiness that haunts your world, AJ. An emptiness that you hide with a false god. And Bray offers to save AJ Styles, encouraging him to follow the buzzards. AJ challenges Bray to a match at Extreme Rules, and Bray agrees on one condition. It has to be a buried alive match. So, Extreme Rules arrives. Finn Balor defends his belt against some generic heel like Randy Orton or whatever. AJ and Bray lock horns in the main event, which is the Buried Alive match. And Bray has the upper hand for the majority of the match because he fights dirty, like hits him with the lid of the shovel and laughs manically while rubbing blood all over his chest and gesturing to the crowd and just being the manic heel that we know Bray as. They go up to the ramp to the decaying grave situated beneath the Titantron, and AJ gets a burst of energy. He hits Bray with the Pele kick and then whacks him with the shovel. And he stands over Bray. Bray sits up. And AJ raises the shovel above his head. And Bray Wyatt starts laughing. And he stays on his knees with his arms outstretched. And says...
Shoulder shaking, just giggling.
And he's like...
Love and life.
Look at what you've become. Where is your God now, AJ? AJ blesses himself. And smashes Bray in the face with the shovel. Bray falls into the coffin. And then AJ starts dumping dirt in on top of him. And just before AJ's music hits, smoke starts coming up out of the grave. And the commentary team are like, what the hell? There's smoke coming out of the grave, Michael. What is going on? And then...
What would Booker T say?
Yeah,
that's right. I was the first ever U.S. champion. That's right, Renee.
It's me. It's that Booker T. Anyway, Extreme Rules goes off the air. Fans take to the internet to be like, what the fuck was that ending? Anyway, the build-up to SummerSlam is pretty respectful, and everyone on the internet is angry that there's no de facto heel. They're like, it's just a guy versus a guy. But some corners
What's
of the
the
internet...
build-up, fella?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But some people on the internet are commenting on how refreshing it is to see a main event that's just built around respect and love of the sport. AJ, once again, in his final promo before the pay-per-view, says that his advantage is his belief in God, and his one criticism of Finn Balor is that he doesn't like the whole demon thing. It's kind of sensitive to his beliefs.
Blasphemy.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
match itself at the pay-per-view is great. They get 35 minutes, and the crowd is like, "This is awesome," the whole way through. Not a single...
TNA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Randy Savage.
Holy shit.
AJ,
JBL.
towards the very end of the match, AJ has the upper hand. And he goes for the phenomenal forearm. He's on the outside, but he blesses himself beforehand, which gives Finn Balor the 0.7 of a second that he needs to think quick and counter. AJ lies on the ground, and Finn goes to the top rope, but then the lights go out. And they come back on, and we see Finn lying on the canvas completely out cold. AJ pins him with this complete confused look on his face, and the pay-per-view ends on a whimper. Everybody's super confused about what just happened. Dave Meltzer describes the event as the biggest disappointment since the Montreal Screwjob, while Vince Russo himself says he's booked better shit in WCW.
Bro.
Fans call for Vince's head. Later in the week on SmackDown, AJ...
Wait. Did it call for Vince Russo's head just for speaking?
I should have said Vince McMahon's head.
You can fuck off too, Russo. We don't need your shit here.
If we want your opinion, we'll ask for it, motherfucker.
Yeah, fucking go watch 2000 WCW, bro.
Everyone's like, oh, Vince is such a senile old man. This was such a good match, but it ended in such a shit way. Ah! Anyway.
Anger. God.
Later on in the week, AJ Styles opens the show on SmackDown, and he cuts a promo saying he doesn't know what happened. He genuinely has no idea. He believes that some divine entity cost Finn the match, and that the time that AJ took to bless himself was what kept him in the match. Corey Graves is having none of it, and he's like, if he didn't bless himself in the first place, he'd have won clean, which is a point. Finn comes out and says, I don't really trust you, AJ. I don't know why I did that. He's like I can do his accent if I wanted, but I
he moved to Newcastle recently.
AJ, listen here.
Or Germany.
But
listen here, AJ. You got a problem, fun boy. And he's just like, what the goddamn are you talking about? Sorry, this is your
I
fantasy.
take my belt back from you now, eh? So
real party time.
AJ plays the nice guy, and he's like, listen, man, I honestly had no idea what that thing was. But let's have a rematch tonight in the main event on SmackDown. So the main event hits, and again, it's just an excellent advert for wrestling in its purest form, as I'd say the two most over internet darlings hit all the main beats, and the crowd is
best
totally
shape
into
as
it.
well.
Yeah.
Like in terms of cardio and besides maybe Seth Rollins. So yeah, so you're guaranteed a good ass main event.
So this time, AJ gets the upper hand by gouging Finn's eyes, which is a little bit out of character for him because he's a face. And he tries for the Styles Clash, but Finn counters it into a float over DDT or whatever. Finn then jumps to the top rope, and again the lights go out. But this time, Finn anticipated it, and he jumps from the top rope onto the canvas. The lights come back on, and there's a shadowy figure standing behind Finn, who turns around into a Sister Abigail. The match ends in a DQ, and Bray Wyatt raises AJ's hand as they stand over Finn Balor's fallen corpse. Not corpse, he's not dead, but, you know.
In the match he is.
Has he ever truly been alive, is what Bray Wyatt would say in that position.
Yeah.
So next week on SmackDown, we open with AJ and Bray both in the ring. Bray explains that in the coffin, after being buried alive, he saw Hellfire and Brimstone, and he saw what made The Undertaker, and he saw the man whose favorite demon is Kane. He saw what made him fear death, and thus he went to visit Devon Dudley, who performed an exorcism on him.
Testify.
So now Bray Wyatt...
Little cameo there for Devon, you know.
Yeah.
He is an agent now, so...
He's also an exorcist.
Yeah.
So he got the evil spirit out of Bray, and now Bray is AJ's loyal servant, a man of God, like a Bible-thumping southerner preaching Christian values. And over the next few weeks, Bubba Ray and Devon join up with Bray and AJ to form what will hereon be known as the God Squad.
The God Squad. The God Connection.
So Finn challenges AJ to a match at Hell in a Cell because that way there'll be no way the God Squad can interfere. AJ agrees to the match on one condition. It's renamed Rage in a Cage because Hell in a Cell offends his Christian values.
Ah, yeah. That offends me.
So they face off
That
inside the cell.
pay-per-view offends me. Sorry, Gary.
So he's having none of it because he's super godly and that's his. He's super religious and that's why the fans hate him now.
Yeah.
So to everyone's surprise, inside the cell, they break the door open somehow, which never usually happens in this match. It's usually, perfectly secure where two men just have a match and that's it. So the God Squad members come to ringside to help AJ, but they're intercepted by the Bludgeon Brothers and famous atheist Dolph Ziggler. I don't know, I just figured, whatever, he's probably an atheist. And it's a horrible finish, but AJ manages to get the win. So this is some WCW shit.
Would you not have his boys, the Good Brothers?
Nah, they're on Raw.
Ah, okay. Got all bases covered. My apologies. Yeah. What about the New Day? It's a New Day!
So I actually considered the
comedic.
New Day. But they're also too... They're too friendly... They're too child-friendly to be going up against the God Squad.
Yeah.
Like I can
Big
see
E doing this fucking dance.
Yeah.
AJ Styles, he's like, oh lord, no.
I could see the Bludgeon Brothers being like, fuck Jesus. But I couldn't see Big E being like, yo, God ain't real, because they can't. No, it's just not what
You
it is.
famous atheist, Big E. Okay, I'm with you.
I imagine Dolph Ziggler to be the kind of guy who's proud of his atheism.
I'm an atheist because I'm not stupid. That's the idea, isn't it?
Exactly. I can see Ziggler being that kind of guy. So anyway, we go into Survivor Series and the God Squad take on the New Atheist Movement in a 5-on-5 traditional elimination match. I don't know who the 5 members of each team are, so just, go on, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, they feud for a while, and then we come to the Rumble, where AJ beats a generic face, or like Nakamura or whatever, in the main event. Like the way I've said generic for each person, and none of them are generic at all.
They're actually quite specific.
Yeah.
But that's what's generic about them.
So, the Rumble winds down, and entrant number 30 is about to come out. The fans count down in anticipation, and holy shit, it's CM Punk!
That's nice theme. Carry on.
Anyway, the fans
Would he
go...
come out to... he could always come out to that other one.
This Fire Burns.
Yeah.
Randall Keith Orton's theme song.
Yeah, for about a day.
Anyway, the fans go fucking nuts. Michael Cole completely undersells the event with his typical dry manner, but CM Punk trends on social media for 6 days straight. Punk wins the Rumble, tipping someone generic, I don't know, Dean Ambrose, over the top rope before pointing to the sign. Lillian Garcia comes out to the ring for no reason other than the fact that I love her and I want her to play a part. She asks Punk who he's going to challenge, and he says there's only one man that he wants to fight, and I'm going to spell it. No, that's the wrong thing. He says there's only one man that he wants to fight, and that's the Bible-bashing, God-fearing, no-good redneck AJ Styles.
Flat earthen piece of shit.
SmackDown rolls around. AJ stands in the ring with the God Squad, and CM Punk comes out to electric cheers, and he delivers a vintage, acerbic CM Punk promo, referring to the God Squad as a flat earth society, calling AJ Styles a poor man's Shawn Michaels. CM Punk says that God is dead, and even if God existed, he wouldn't be happy to worship such a narcissistic entity. AJ Styles retorts, stating that he'll submit CM Punk quicker than Mickey Gall did. Punk laughs and says at least he dared to step out of his comfort zone instead of living his life in the hands of a book that says you shouldn't even get tattoos. And then he asks AJ, how do you reconcile that with the marks on your skin? And
children's births, guys, kids. Yeah. Okay, this is picking up steam now.
It's against the Bible.
Yeah.
Anyway, the whole feud is just exactly what you would expect it to be. Amazing promo after amazing promo, chance of best in the world, and AJ Styles saying that he's the best in the world, he's really the best. They prepare for the WrestleMania showdown. In the final SmackDown before WrestleMania, CM Punk has a match with Bray Wyatt, which ends with the God Squad attacking Punk. But then the Straight Edge Society come out and put them back in their place. The crowd goes nuts.
Joey Mercury.
Joey Mercury trends worldwide for 6 days straight.
Woohoo! He's back.
So WrestleMania arrives. Both men's factions are banned from ringside. CM Punk and AJ Styles wrestle up a clinic for 38 minutes in a spectacle, and Styles falls victim to the GTS,
The GCSE, yes,
the exam that he never would have passed. And then CM Punk holds the belt high, and the Attitude Era is back, baby.
JR's there go Punk.
Yeah, that's it. It's done.
All right.
Let's unpack that, shall we?
Yes, let's run that back. So, okay. So first of all, see, I didn't know where that was going because I was like, okay, so here's just Finn and AJ, but I was merely a pawn in this game. So, the only thing that I could see being quite difficult is getting people to boo AJ and cheer Punk, because Punk is coming across like an atheist, and obviously you don't want to go up against that crowd in that country, wrestling fans especially. Would you have him sort of be like, listen, I have no problem against religion, but you are not, you're not representing religion, you're representing yourself, faking it through God, that sort of vibe?
Nah, they just book all of these events in the upper half, the northern half of the United States.
Stay away from Georgia. Please stay away from fucking... Okay, I like that quite a lot.
Here's how I would defend that, though.
Yeah.
Styles is using God in the way that a kind of a villain in society nowadays would, like the way extreme right wing people do horrible things, but they preach Christian values at the same time, and it makes no fucking sense. It's sort of AJ Styles is using God as sort of a buffer for his hypocrisy. And
yes, that's exactly what I mean. And having CM Punk call him out, that means that CM Punk is just calling him out. He's not calling the religion out.
CM Punk is sort of arguing for rationality rather than atheism, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, he's saying Dawkins, Gervais,
no, actually, because it's my fantasy booking, CM Punk actually specifically, in a really foul-mouthed promo, calls Ricky Gervais a cunt. So
yeah, WWE.com sort of like after the match sort of and by the way, just in case everyone thinks I'm an atheist like that prick Ricky Gervais, well, I'm not.
That's right, yeah.
And everyone
That's exactly
goes, right?
Goes, yeah.
Okay, so any thought as to why it's the Dudleys and not an existing tag team? I know this is what you thought of. I'm just trying to be like, if you're presenting I'm Vince right now, okay? And you're just presenting and saying this is the year versus story. So I'm just gonna play devil's advocate. Hey, get it? Hey, there you go.
Nice.
And just say why. So I'm Vince going, but the Dudleys are well and truly retired.
But they're not really there in any real wrestling capacity. They're just there to add weight to the story. They only have one match in the whole thing, and Devon says testify.
Yeah, at the end of every AJ promo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, so you got that.
He also performs an exorcism.
Yes, shockingly, he
goes to the Wyatt comp, the House of Horrors, and it's one of those incredible promos, a la Final Deletion, and it's like a room, loads of candles, Bray Wyatt fucking strapped to a bed while he contorts relentlessly and wildly, vomiting up green substances.
Devon gets Sister Abigail out of his body.
Yes.
Literally.
Exactly.
So he's like, the power of Christ compels. This is, WWE is fucking, they don't give a shit about the sponsors at this point. They were just
that's
fuck
why
you, Mattel.
It all takes place on SmackDown, so it's fine.
It's fine. On Raw, Triple H is probably feuding with Vince and Cena and that. Yeah, whatever. So SmackDown, this can all it can just happen. They can just allow it to happen. Another thing as well. So, what does Finn Balor get up to after this? Did you not figure him out? Did he just go, "Nah, I'm off"?
He retires.
just that's it.
He retires at the top of his game at the ripe old age of 37.
Nice. So he's done as well.
I figure he's probably in a feud for the US title or something.
Yeah. Tuck him away.
Yeah.
What would you think the buy rate would be for the rest of the WrestleMania?
I would say similar to AJ Styles, the buy rate would be phenomenal.
Ayo,
CM Punk's return.
I know CM Punk's return. That. Oh, sorry. I was just having to think, being like, God, I do actually wish that would happen.
Yeah.
Not the specific circumstances,
Yeah.
but
Should I add the disclaimer and say that is deliberately wacky and retarded and stupid, and that's why I made it? No one's gonna think this is what I actually want to happen, are they?
I hope not.
I just thought it's got everything, right? It's got an exorcism.
I was listening to this podcast last night, and this guy just went on about Devon doing an exorcism on Bray Wyatt, and he meant it too. Like, he meant it. And then you start trending worldwide, and then you have to fucking go on the BBC and apologize to your storylines.
Jamie Carragher spits in my face.
Yeah, it was just banter. Just banter. Would you not have some sort of Mary Magdalene type lady as well with AJ? Some sort of ravenous hoe? Because you can also have that and be like, and he's married, and he's like out there just having it off a page.
That's a good point, yeah.
So you can also, because you know the what are they called? Those evangelical priests of the 80s, when one after another, they're all found out to be basically scum.
Yeah. And
tax dodging is not really in concept like a big deal, because obviously like they already registered themselves as a church, so who cares?
Whoa! Check this out. Bray Wyatt's dad is IRS, so at some point someone makes CM Punk would be the guy for this, making a quick jab at AJ Styles and his establishment dodging taxes by saying like, "Hey, watch yourselves. If this gets any more out of hand, I might have to call the IRS." Something like that.
I just love like the group of people here. Like none of these people have like anything in common prior to the storyline, but it all kind of ties in as like, well, that character is most likely going to be here. That character is going to be here. So I actually quite enjoyed that.
I think if I were to critique it myself, I would say that I definitely nailed their mannerisms and likenesses and stuff. Like, AJ can definitely play that character, and also that's a really good direction to go in to get people to boo him. At the same time, the whole Bray Wyatt thing, the reason why he comes out to AJ in the first place, that's pretty much dead on what Bray would do anyway. And CM Punk is the perfect guy to just sarcastically just do all these jabs to a guy who takes himself and his faith so seriously, but it's also all under the mask of kayfabe. So it's like, it's just that duality of that wrestling can do, of telling a real story with kayfabe. So that's obviously, I don't think it's a good idea.
That's why, it'll never happen. But
I had lots of fun writing it.
I think I'm down with that. I'd say get booking week 1 on this. Let's go Money in the Bank. Let's get there. And who knows now? This isn't July. Like, I'll be honest. This is honest to God truth. It is not July right now.
That's true.
Do you agree with that?
That is true. Yeah.
So by definition, in a never-ending existing number of multiverses, that could happen.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So who's to say this isn't that multiverse we're in right now? And say we get to mid to late June, and you start hearing rumors about Devon and Bray, and you just go, what is going on here? No, I think that is I mean, the funniest thing would be actually just By the way, I'm not taking away. I know this is your story. I would never be one to be like, "Yo, do this." But the funniest thing would be, you know how AJ's talking about God, and he comes out one day, maybe on the the very same SmackDown before WrestleMania. He comes out and he goes, "Tonight I'm gonna give you God," and everyone's like, "Whoa, he's gonna bring God." And then he comes out, maybe halfway through the show, because he does this in the opener, and he goes, "I promised you I was going to get God, and now God's going to get you." And then the lights all go out. You just get like a single beam of light, and you just hear, "AJ, it's God."
Yes.
And it's Vince McMahon with a fucking cloak on, and he takes it off, and everyone goes fucking crazy, and he goes, "I am God," and he just goes, "You are my God," but he talks about it as in, like, he literally sees him as a godlike sort of figure,
Yeah.
sort of like a David Koresh, or sort of like a, what's that, Jonestown, whatever his fucking name was, Jim Jones, that's the one, a sort of like, if you want me, because this is what Jim Jones used to say, and you can even play all this shit in and get really deep, because Jim Jones used to be like, if you want to see me as your friend, I'm your friend. If you want to see me as a religious figure, I'm a religious figure. If you want to see me as your cousin, your boyfriend, you know what I mean? Like, I will be whatever hole you need filling. That sounds really bad.
Yeah.
Which is actually some of the shit he was up to. But you know what I mean? Like, I will be that emptier part of you, like, whatever you want. If you have parent problems, blah, blah. So you can have that with Vince and AJ. And AJ's just like, yeah, I look up to you because I see you as one of the greatest. This is to get heel, like the greatest entertainer. Like, you always do the right thing, so it feeds his ego. So Vince then is like, you know what? It's nice to have a Southern Christian boy like you lead this company.
Yeah. The only unrealistic part about that is Vince appearing on SmackDown. We all know that's not
Fine.
happening.
It's Shane. There's fucking gray hair. Or it could be Triple H. Triple H could do a SmackDown. If he does NXT, I guess he could do SmackDown.
I think Triple H is too heavy metal to be God.
Yeah. I am the God. Da-na-na, da-na-na. He's already a king, though, so you can't be a king and a god, can you?
Why be a king when you can be a god?
Boom. Where's that from? I've heard that loads as well.
Rap God. It's the very last
Rap
line.
God. Yeah. I know a guy who can do that entire bit. The bit.
Is his name Marshall Mathers the Third?
Nah, his name is, I can't think of a fake idiot name, so I'll just say it's the guy that does Pointless. What's his name? Richard Armstrong.
Okay.
Alex Armstrong. He can do that. No, so yeah. So whilst we're here, then this is just to put you on the spot, just to wrap this up. At WrestleMania, what would the special entrances be like? 'Cause it's WrestleMania. They always have like Shawn Michaels was God that one time. Do you remember that when he came down wearing white and I think it was devil? Like, how would they have musical performances? Would they have like a choir for AJ, or can you think of anything? That isn't controversial as fuck.
Yeah, that's where I'm having difficulty.
Yeah, they'd have a priest there, and he'd bless the crowd, and it would boo.
I'm trying to, like, the AJ Styles thing would be pretty obvious. He comes out in white to a spotlight, like the God thing. Like, that could probably work, but only if it was slapped on with things on the Titantron saying "holier than thou," and
You could also have little choir kids.
Yeah.
Go, you don't want none. You don't want none. You don't want none. Just doing his theme, but when they did the John Cena theme, but as a choir when he, I think, can't remember which year it was, maybe versus Rusev. That would be pretty cool actually, and which obviously would lead into his song and all that. What about this though? In the build up to it, AJ has a match in which he hits someone with the Bible, and that's how he gets the win. And he calls it divine intervention.
Yes.
That one's on me. By God, the Bible.
CM Punk, I feel like just him coming out to Cult of Personality is just all you need, really.
Yeah, let's get the lads living color to play again.
Yeah, they'd be up for it.
Did last time.
He gets led to the ring by the remaining four horsemen, the three living ones, Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, and Daniel Dennett. They all accompany him to the ring. The new atheists.
Fucking Sam Harris. Oh, Richard Dawkins. I don't quite understand. Go lead him to the fucking ring. Yeah, that's the thing. I was trying to think of like other wrestlers who are like pure atheists, but I can't even think of a single one because they probably, if they came out, they'd probably be fucking buried for saying some mad like that.
I'd fucking love it if like, so Sam Harris, what did you think of that? I mean, AJ Styles claims that God won him a match for a title. This is pure confusion on his part. This man is ideologically confused.
Doesn't know whether he's coming or going.
Oh, that would be
He's
so
blind.
good.
Yeah, you could have like those like the talking smack shows where you just have like various sort of public figures come along, and here defending AJ Styles we have Reverend Al Sharpton. I believe a man and God should be together.
And then AJ's like, whoa, now wait just a damn minute.
Wait just a damn minute there, Reverend. And then on the other side, you could have obviously Richard Dawkins come in. You can have Ricky Gervais come in on the show. Just that the celebrity connections they have with WrestleMania.
Ricky Gervais being like, oh, hopefully I don't offend anyone. Oh, actually, wait, I don't care if you're offended. Are you offended? I don't care.
Hashtag offendo.
And then,
you can even have Alex Jones comment on the matter.
Yeah, good.
Now it's getting good.
CM Punk is a globalist.
Yeah. AJ Styles is only on camera because deep down he's a Satanist. And he dresses like a Christian to make us believe that the entertainment form of pro wrestling isn't in fact Satan's plaything. I seen through you. I seen through you.
I fear that this segment is jumping the shark on its very first episode.
You can cut the shit out if you want. Most of the other half. Yeah. I think we should leave it there. I actually really enjoy that though. I think the gimmick perfectly works for AJ.
Yeah.
I don't know how comfortable he realistically is with his religion and stuff, but I think if you wanted to get heel heat, in an era in which it's difficult for heels to be heels.
Yeah, exactly.
And I know that was your point the whole time. I know, man. I saw it. Yeah, but the whole time you were like, oh, so you think you're too cool to be booed, do you? Well, have a bit of this.
Yeah.
I think so. And I think, to be honest, though, CM Punk come back and the bit where you talked about the promos, actually, the Barb still would exchange would be my favorite thing. Because AJ will have so much material, and Punk would have so much material as well, because he seems like a quite clever guy. I'll probably enjoy just the promo showdown between them.
Exactly. That's like, for me, that's like the most exciting part. It's just, you kind of have to set it in a certain setting, but once you're there, you can imagine how funny the promos would be. Like, AJ, like, CM Punk coming out and saying like, oh, I didn't know there was a convention for the Flat Earth Society tonight. Like, the fans would go fucking nuts. And you can picture like AJ in the ring being like, what the fuck? And like, yeah. It just works really well.
Everyone like putting their hands over his ears. Don't listen to him.
Exactly.
It is flat.
And then AJ saying like, oh, I'll submit you quicker than Mickey Gall. And everyone going, woo. And then CM Punk just having a really snarky smile and being like, you know, AJ, at least I had the balls to go and try something different. And all. Like, it you know what? It works.
And you can have, as well, AJ beat, like, Kane along the way as well, to be like, look, I took on his favorite son and all that as well.
Yeah.
So you can stretch that out. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I give it 5 Bibles out of 5.
Excellent.
So, yes, I guess I've got to come up with some of that Trump's fucking religion.
Exactly.
That's what I'm up against here, folks.
So this segment will appear infrequently, whenever. It's bonus content, so look out for it. You can watch it on YouTube, listen to it on podcasts. iTunes, all that stuff. Be sure to follow us, rate us, subscribe to us. But more importantly than anything else, just have fun.
Yes, have fun with it. Wrestling is something, especially when it comes to this type of segment. So just have fun with it. Like, the crazier, the more entertaining, the better. Hopefully people will feedback, because I would love to read some. Because you never know what people will come up with. That's the thing. Because wrestling is actually a very, very, very wide open sort of medium.
Yeah.
To get the news across and to get storylines across. Like with yours, I didn't expect anything that you said.
Exactly. Like, and feel free to submit serious things. Like, they don't have to be wacky like this. Like,
yeah. If you think that, Triple H versus The Rock was a little bit, I don't know, there's too many title changes, or if, I don't know, should have gone all the way to WrestleMania, yeah, just let us know. Pick any time period. Don't obviously be like, yeah, fucking Harley Race versus Buddy Rogers should have been booked like this.
yeah, trust me, dude, no one is doing that.
I will be doing that next now on. Well, I might now that I've said that. But yes, just give us your brain thoughts. Spill your brains. Speak your brains.
Cut out your brains and smear them in our comment section.
Yes, that's a very good way of putting it. Not too much though, because someone's gonna clean that up. So, yeah. Don't want brains all over it.
All right, thanks for listening.
Have a good eve. Have a good day. Have a good night. Bye bye. And theme.
You wanna ride? You wanna ride? WWP Slam It!